I first came to the Maldives in 1987, and although this sounds a little bit staged, the Maldives had a profound impact on my life, and it's the reason why I became a marine biologist. At first I was fascinated by wildlife, but I very quickly learnt that I preferred warmer climates than the United Kingdom. And then I came to the Maldives in the 80s, and that's when I learned to scuba dive. And when I saw the reefs in the Maldives, I thought, this is what I want to do when I grow up. When I first came to the Maldives and I saw the reefs, I was blown away. I used to go home as a child, right? And I would get home after my holidays and I would be white as a ghost. And people would say, I thought you've been on a holiday. And I would show them my back, and my back would be black, because I would spend all day, every day, face down, snorkeling in the water, looking at the reefs. Banyan Tree kind of pioneered the way with marine biologists in the Maldives, and they built the first marine lab, resort-based marine lab, in 2004. And so when I joined the company, I came to head the conservation work that we do within the marine lab. And that work has evolved over time, where first and foremost it was engaging with guests, it was raising awareness about the threats to the environment, it was helping restore the reef. And so when I first joined the company, we were looking to try to build that beyond that. So we have various conservation programs in place, not only for the reefs, but also that engage with tourists and travellers through a citizen science approach. But a big part of what we do is also engaging with the community as well. So over the years that I've been here, we helped set up the first Maldives Marine Science Symposium, working with the Marine Research Centre and the IUCN. We've got partnerships with the Maldives National University. We look to try to put more back into the community to educate people as well. We also have a 5-year project looking at assessing the effectiveness of the ban on the shark fishing, where we use underwater video cameras to document the number of sharks and how this is changing over time. So this project's been going on now for 4 years, and I've got several PhD students who are also working on this project. And so we've been documenting the numbers of sharks in North Malé Atoll at about 100 different sites every year with video cameras. And so you use a very small amount of bait that will draw in any sharks in the vicinity, will come and check it out, and you capture them on video. And it allows you then to, by filming every year in the same locations at the same time, we can get an idea whether or not the ban, which is a very progressive move by the Maldives, and also an approach that's a very wise precautionary approach. But at the same time, we need to know, is it having a positive effect? Because we do hear from all of the fishermen that the shark numbers are increasing, and we need to know whether or not that is true or if it's perceived. So a big part of this has also been going to talk to the fishermen. And we've been interviewing resource users, fishermen, divers all over the country, to try to find out what they know and where they see sharks. And this is known as local ecological knowledge. It's the knowledge that you don't have to go to school for. The fishermen here, they know more than most of the people that have probably been to university about the sharks and the animals and the marine life in the Maldives. So by talking to them, we can also access information from the past. So now we've got information on sharks over the last 30 years and where they used to see them, how these numbers have changed. Because biologically, it'd be very difficult for the shark populations, nigh on impossible for them to recover in the time since the ban was implemented. At the moment, we have identified what we call hot spots and not spots, areas where we are finding the fishermen and resource users have reported very high densities of sharks, and areas where there's a complete absence in sharks. And our current stage of research is now trying to understand why, and we've confirmed these with the cameras, so we know that the knowledge of the fishermen is accurate, and we know that where they say there are lots of sharks, there are indeed lots of sharks. The question we're trying to ask now, and find an answer is if the shark populations have recovered, there should be lots of sharks everywhere. And actually what we're looking at now is whether or not the sharks are they only abundant in a few distinct locations. And if that's the case, then it's very difficult for us to say that the shark populations have recovered. Maybe the sharks have aggregated in certain areas because that's the areas where there are lots of fish. So our surveys are now looking at the environment where we find lots of sharks to join those two dots to find out, have the numbers actually increased. In terms of feeding wild animals, like any conservation initiative, you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose? And doing it for the sake of doing it, or engaging people who are inexperienced to actually participate in these things, I am against. It's much like a zoo. Many people may be against a zoo as well. And yet, what is the purpose of the zoo? The purpose of the zoo is not to keep an animal in captivity. Instead, the purpose of a zoo is to introduce people that otherwise wouldn't get to experience these animals, and to open their minds and to broaden their horizons. Now, I think the day is approaching where the feeding of wild animals, firstly, it has to be very well controlled, but I still believe the day is approaching where it will stop across the Maldives, and I'm not against that. At the moment, the way that we approach it is to connect with people that otherwise wouldn't connect with conservation. It is approaching an educational and awareness activity, much like a zoo would be, in the sense that people that otherwise wouldn't be interested in the environment, they will come along and they'll watch this, and that then provides you a gateway to connect with these people, to raise awareness about other issues, and then to engage them in other activities. And for us, it's that first point of contact, that then suddenly people will be coming along, they'll be planting corals, or they'll be recording their sightings of sharks and turtles, they'll be engaged with conservation where otherwise they would not.